The 19th annual Hilton Sandestin Beach Basketball Blowout. It is about to enter its 5th ball game. Buckhorn out of Kentucky taking on a team that travels not very far to get here. As a matter of fact, other than Freeport, Walton's got the shortest drive to Freeport High School. The Walton Braves ready to take on the Wildcats of Buckhorn. Welcome aboard, Robert Williamson courtside as we get this one underway. Quickly taking a look at the starting lineups for the Braves. Quentin Stuckey, a senior. Alex Campbell, who is a senior. Amos Williams, a senior. As a matter of fact, an all-senior starting 5 for the Walton Braves. Nitro G as well, and it is G who brings it inside and is immediately fouled. Nitro G, a guy that's been playing on the varsity level since he was a freshman at Walton. Fouled and goes to the stripe to begin this one. Raheem Phillips, obviously a senior as well, starting for the Braves. Meanwhile, Buckhorn, 3 seniors and a couple of underclassmen. Josh Crank, a senior. Peyton Cooper, who was a junior. James Blair and Connor Hoskins, seniors. And Caleb Estep, who is a junior. All start off this one for Buckhorn. Couple of shots from the stripe, and very quickly the Braves have got the early lead. Braves, a very athletic squad, and a walk is called. Caleb Estep took one step too many. Walton Braves 2-0 start to this one as the toss goes over to Harper. Fade away, it is no good. Opportunities. Estep brings it inside, tried to get it from underneath, could not for this squad out of Kentucky to tie things up. The long rebound belongs to Josh Crank. 3-point try, skims off the rim. Rebound grabbed by Hoskins, and another opportunity for this Buckhorn squad. Buckhorn and the Braves as a foul is committed underneath, and it is James Blair that commits the personal, trying to get to the loose ball. Doing a little roster adjustments as Williams pitches it over to Phillips. Phillips brings it inside the paint, trying to get the shooter's roll. Could not. Caught the rim, came out, and then it is caught and comes out of the hands of Connor Hoskins. And the Braves will maintain possession. Funiac Springs, about 15 miles or so north of here. Meanwhile, obviously, the team out of Kentucky with a long haul to get to Freeport, Florida. The 3-point try for Phillips is no good. Here comes Peyton Cooper and company. Swatted around, picked up by G. Nitro brings it into the paint. Right-hander good. It's a 4-0 lead for the Walton Braves. Basketball already under our belts. 4 games complete. This is the midpoint as the 3-point fadeaway won't fall for Hoskins. It goes out and the Braves will have it. The 4 games that preceded, everything started with a Lexington 60-41 win over Greenville. Then it was Nashville Christian knocking off White Plains 58-53. Cookeville over Bayside 77-58 in the game that wrapped up about 45 minutes ago. Tightest game of the day. McClay fought to within 2 of Mount Zion with 13 seconds to play in the ball game, but Mount Zion able to drop in a couple of free throws and come away with a 44-40 victory. 3-point try. Stuckey misses on the tray. Crank coming up with a loose ball, brings it down the floor himself. Sends it into the corner. Picked up, lost, and then grabbed back by Ryan Boggs. Boggs, a 6'1 sophomore now on the floor for Buckhorn, and Boggs couldn't keep a handle on the round ball, but you got a shove and a foul. Braves guilty. It'll be brought in for the baseline by Hoskins. Put in play to Cooper. Hoskins got it back, takes it baseline. You got contact, you got a bucket, and you got an opportunity for another from the stripe. As Buckhorn gets on the board with the Hoskins 2-pointer. Hoskins able to get it over the outstretched hands of Amos Williams. In and out with a shot from the line, and down with a rebound is Alex Campbell. If the first 2.5 minutes of this one are any indication, we are going to have a plethora of fouls. Good thing that both squads have got a rather deep roster as Levico Thompson, the 6'4 senior, steps in for the Braves. Phillips stepped out. Got a foot out of bounds, and Buckhorn will have it. Whipped underneath, and Hoskins with a miss. Boggs trying to put it back, and you've got another whistle. Two-shot foul with Boggs at the stripe, an opportunity for Buckhorn to tie this one up. Walton jumped out in front, dropped in 4 straight, and now Buckhorn trying to put 4 straight of their own, but the front end missed by Boggs. Quan Brown, 6' senior, now onto the floor for the Braves. 0 for 2 goes Boggs, and the one thing that's been consistent through the previous 4 ball games and apparently continues in this one is the not particularly good free throw shooting. Over it goes to Thompson, spins into the paint, lost it. Picked up by Cooper. Back over it goes to Boggs, and we're tied at 4. Stuckey fires it down the floor, almost lost it, but Williams able to grab it back, steps inside the paint. Shot misses. Hoskins with a rebound. E-step, short on the shot, trying to retrieve his Boggs and cannot. And we will head back down to this end of the floor. Walton Braves, who jumped out to a 4-0 lead, now sees things tied at 4. Alex Campbell comes back onto the floor and puts it in play to Stuckey. Aaron pass. Thompson couldn't hang on to it, and Hoskins, just like a defensive back sitting, waiting on a pass, wrapped it up and brings it to the Buckhorn end. You've got another foul. 7 of them early in this one. 4 for Buckhorn, 3 for Walton. Boggs to Cooper. Sends it over to Crank, and Crank's got it. First advantage of the ball game for Buckhorn, and they get it right back. Opportunity to extend the lead to 5, but missed from in close by Crank. And E-step drawing the charge of Alex Campbell. E-step fired up, and the official may have said, don't get too rowdy. Don't know that E-step did, though. He was just motivated as he laid on his back and drew the charge. E-step sends it into the corner. Cross-court it goes. Cooper's got it. Hoskins misses on the 3. Tipped into the hands of a Brave. Here comes Williams. Blocked from the backside by Cooper. E-step with a pull-up J, short on the shot. It is Williams with a loose ball and a foul from the backside. Another look at the Cooper block. E-step comes off the floor, and it is Dylan Cole, the 5'10 junior, who comes in for Buckhorn. Put in play to Stuckey, sends it over to Brown, and Brown's got the 3. Cooper with a leisurely stroll to the Buckhorn end of the floor. Hoskins sends it into the corner. Underneath, no foul and no bucket, as Dylan Cole took it inside. That was originally, but there was a foul called late. And it is Thompson who is guilty of the foul. That has got Ryan Boggs at the stripe. He will shoot a pair trying to break the 7-all tie. And that free throw shooting, that suspect free throw shooting continuing. I doubt we've had a team today hit better than 60-65% at best. It has been a rough day at the stripe for all teams. And I'm guessing at a 60-65% clip at being the best thus far. That may be a little bit off. I don't know that a team's hit 60%. And certainly not Buckhorn here early. Stuckey. Long two is no good. Bryant Jackson, a 6'4" senior, now on the floor for the Braves, and he's guilty of the push underneath. Sloppy game early, 10 personals in the first 5 minutes of basketball. Make that 11 now. And already into the bonus, it's Buckhorn. Got to get the right shooter at the stripe. Connor Hoskins had gone to the sidelines to talk to Coach John Noble, the guy who's in charge of Buckhorn, and he summons back to the line to shoot. Shooting a 1-and-1 with 3:03 to play in the first. Ladies see action tomorrow. Starts at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. There's a free throw for Hoskins. Into the on a stick, Hoskins at the line. Got both of his. It's a 2-point advantage. Went out of bounds. Apparently last got the fingertips of Buckhorn. Braves will have it. Stuckey. Over goes to Rodney Shippen, now in, a 5'9" junior. I mentioned they will use a lot of players during the course of an afternoon of round ball. Kicked outside of the arc to Josh McNeil, short on the three. Crank got the rebound, and Crank brings it to the opposite end of the floor. Cooper tries the tray, wide right. Able to track it down to the corner is McNeil. Stuckey can't get it to drop. Out it goes. And it was last off the hands of Dylan Cole. Ball game that follows has Paxton taking on Petal. And I see that Petal has arrived, and I thought it was Paxton. So obviously those two teams are going to have very similar decor in the game that follows. Both wearing the red and black. Three-pointer. Amos Williams. And Walton's got the lead back. It is seesawing currently. Joey Grove, 6'3" senior. Right back into the hands of Buckhorn with two more. Boggs making it a 13-10 ball game. Tipped out of bounds by Hoskins. Williams to Brown. Kicked outside of the arc. McNeil to Jackson. Back to McNeil. Air ball grabbed by Ryan Boggs. Taking it baseline, then hammered and put on the hardwood hard is Joey Grove. Brown charged with a foul as we give it another look. Right there, and yep, no doubt about it. Brown was all over Joey Grove. Braves with a rebound off the grown miss. Williams from the elbow. Fadeaway won't fall. It's Hoskins with a rebound. Another foul committed by the Braves. 9 of them in the first quarter. Looking at the number of players on the roster, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. They've got 15 on the roster and might need all of them. Hoskins missing the front end of the 1-and-1. Of course, the way people have been shooting free throws, maybe fouling is the route to go. Hoskins underneath, and this time it is Boggs who is hammered. So into the double bonus goes Buckhorn as Walton commits their 10th foul in 7 minutes of basketball. This Buckhorn squad, which was down 4-zip early to the Walton Braves, reclaimed the lead. Then it seesawed back and forth, now expanding the advantage to 5. Biggest lead of the ball game for the Buckhorn team. Boggs, the 6'1" sophomore, and it's another 1-for-2 trip to the stripe. Williams kicks it over to Jackson. Lost it, got it back, gives it back to Williams. Hoskins up with a loose ball. And you're probably not going to believe this, but I think there was another, no, it wasn't a foul. I'm not believing that. And it is the Braves in possession. The other problem with fouls is it makes for a lengthy ball game. And now the Walton Braves will have the round ball. And why, I'm not sure, because it looked like you had a steal by Cole. I'm not sure why the official stopped the clock and gave it to the Braves, but I'm sure there was logic behind the move as Williams comes up with it. Shipman with a miss. It is Cole with a loose ball, fires one the length of the court that caught the rim, but drops harmlessly to the hardwood beneath. We have played a stanza, and the opening stanza, it has been messy. As many fouls as points on the board for the Walton Braves. Down by 5 after 1. It has not been pretty, but it's been 8 minutes of basketball. After 1, a 15-10 advantage that belongs to Buckhorn. Walton Braves, 10 points, 10 fouls in the first 8 minutes of round ball. They've got a 15-man roster and will need it if this pace of fouling continues. Got a team out of Alabama, make that out of Florida, and a team out of Kentucky here on this Friday afternoon as we get into the outings that feature some local teams. All early games were teams primarily from a pretty good distance away. Meanwhile, you've got this game with Walton in it, the next game with Paxton, which is about 40 miles north of here. Ponce de Leon plays in the 8 o'clock game. Ponce de Leon roughly 25 miles to the east. And then, of course, Freeport plays in the 6:30 game. Another quick whistle, but the whistle is the result of a walk rather than a foul, and it was apparently Hoskins that walked with it. And the Walton Braves will have the round ball back. I guess what Brad West and his squad can be happy about after 8 minutes of basketball is that after committing 10 fouls, you're only down by 5. Over it goes to Amos Williams. This time the foul committed by Buckhorn. Stephen Harper standing at the stripe with an opportunity to slice into the lead. He gets the first. Over the course of this tournament, Kentucky has been represented on more than one occasion. Buckhorn, Clinton County High, and Hazard High have all participated in the tourney. Three-pointer misses by Hoskins. Batting around, able to come up with a loose ball. It is Josh Crank, and Crank's got it out front. Over it goes to Hoskins. Three-point try from Cole. Skims the rim. And Williams will bring it back down after the Shipman rebound. Phillips went up. The ball came down, but it goes back into the hands of Nitro G. Shipman lost it. Picked up by Cole. Goaltending the call on the attempt to bring it inside by Crank. A reminder, this game archived at its conclusion. If you'd like to watch it again and again, you can have your very own copy, or you can watch it online. Now, since you have the copy, we don't mind that at all. Info at jockjive.com. Spin move to the hoop. And adding a little electricity is Zy Caldwell. Caldwell checked into the lineup about a minute, maybe a couple of minutes back, and already with 4 points to his credit. He stepped back onto the floor, comes up with a loose ball, and then trying to hand it off to Hoskins before getting fouled. The one thing I have never understood about scoreboards and basketball, whether it is high school, collegiate, it is that the fouls stop at 10 on the board, always. Maybe you just don't have 11 under the fouls. Maybe you don't expect more than 10 fouls per game. But it never goes higher than 10, and that's where it's stuck currently. I know we've got at least 11 Brave fouls. In and out. Rolled around the cylinder and came out for Raheem Phillips. Hoskins goes cross court with it. Cole tries the three. Got the rim. Hoskins back with it. Steps to the stripe and then fires underneath. Crank just couldn't hang on. Couple of bounces. Didn't draw the foul though, but Nitro G, I make that didn't draw the walk, but it is the foul. Thought that G might be charged with a walk with a couple of bounces in the paint, but Nitro G goes to the line. You got a name like Nitro G, you've got to perform. I mean, that's just a high performance name. And Nitro's at the stripe, missing the front end. Braves putting in three, a couple of new players for Buckhorn. Bryant Jackson back onto the floor. Zy Caldwell back in. You've got Quentin Stuckey, who is checked back into the lineup. And G with a couple of misses. Buckhorn's got Cooper back in. All twisted around on the opposite end was Jackson and just could not get that body in the contour to get off a decent shot. Or even make a decent grab of a pass. And Buckhorn has got it back. Cooper with a handoff to Crank. Back over it goes, Cooper. Cole fires underneath, trying to get it to E-step, tipped out of bounds by Stuckey. Put in play to E-step, and all over E-step is Jackson. And he will be charged with a foul that puts E-step on the line. Indeed sloppy in the first half. When you've got almost 20 fouls combined, you've had a sloppy first half of action. Got a couple of teams, too, trying to get a feel for the officials and how tight they plan on calling this one. Here's what got E-step on the line. Right there, that body on E-step by Jackson. Caldwell dropping in the three, and we are tied at 17. Buckhorn not particularly pleased. Walton Braves with a ton of fouls, yet they're tied up with Buckhorn at the 5-minute mark in the first half. $17 apiece. You're happy if you're the Braves. You fouled a ton of times and you're tied up. You are not pleased at all if you're John Noble, the head coach of Buckhorn. The fouls alone, if you shoot 2 on every foul and make 1 of 2, you've scored 12 points. Of course, all the fouls aren't shooting fouls necessarily, but if you use that as an average, you got, roughly 12 points on the board as the result of free throw shooting if you're Buckhorn. Toss in shots from the floor and you ought to be on top by plenty, but you're not as G commits the offensive. Wildcats of Buckhorn out of Kentucky, which, by the way, it's a delight to have all our viewers in the Kentucky area watching online, looking at the numbers. Really good for the first half. So obviously a lot of folks up in the northern, well, I know Kentucky's not the north. It's the northern part of the South. Watching the coverage as it's thrown away by Cooper. And you got to believe that the bulk of the audience is from Kentucky versus Florida. Walton not too far from here, but certainly got some Braves watching as well. Caldwell, has he got another 3? He does, and the lead belongs to Walton. First lead since leading at 4-zip. Buckhorn came back, tied it up, took the lead, never relinquished it until about 10 seconds ago. Cole off on the three-point try. Crank's got it. Fires underneath, but Cooper wasn't ready. And John Noble has seen enough. Stands at the line, and now most of the guys that left moments ago have been instructed on the sidelines by John Noble, and they're now back in. Into the corner it goes to Cole. Hoskins with 2, and we are tied again. Stuckey over to McNeil. Jackson makes his move to the hoop, got hammered. I am about 15, 20 feet away, but you could hear Stedham pop Jackson, and Jackson will go to the line. Two-shot foul, an opportunity for the Braves to reclaim the advantage. Okay, I'm not going to say anything about the free throw shooting. I'm just going to say something about the free throw. And it looked like something I might do from the strike. Jackson a little shortened with one, a little strong with the other. Out front it goes. Hoskins sends it into the corner. Cooper fires to Estep. Estep couldn't hang on. And McNeil's got it. The no look over to Caldwell. Caldwell waits for the defense to blow by and gets two. That has got John Noble going to his bench. Crank is getting ready to come in as Cole fires it out front to Hoskins. The pull-up. We're tied again. Okay, my scoreboard and the scoreboard here differs, but I've learned in previous games. Nope, now they've changed theirs. So I learned in previous games to stick with mine. As McNeil sends it to Stuckey. Stuckey with a three-point try. Hoskins coming down with the rebound. Over it goes to Cooper. And a walk by Estep. .22 apiece in the second. 32 ticks left on the first half clock with the clock rolling. Stuckey over to Shipman. And fouled again. The ball game that preceded, we were at the half, 25 minutes into the game. We are 40 minutes into this one and not quite to halftime. Shipman with another effort. A one-point advantage for the visiting squad. Hoskins, the left-handed shot. Buckhorn with a one-point advantage. Braves will try to head into the locker room with a lead. Shipman with a miss. Rebound is grabbed by Crank. Fires it over to Cooper. Cooper gets a three-point look, but it won't fall. Lead here at the half than one. It was a 10-point first stanza for Walton and a 13-point quarter number two for Buckhorn. They put 15 on the board in the first and 9 in the second. And here we head into stanza number 3 with the Walton Braves, who will use an awful lot of guys, putting the same 5 that started the game back onto the floor. Quentin Stuckey, Alex Campbell, Amos Williams, Nitro G, and Raheem Phillips. Meanwhile, same is true for Buckhorn in the second half. They've got Peyton Cooper, Caleb Estep, as well as James Blair, Josh Crank, and Connor Hoskins on the hardwood to begin half number 2. It rattles in for Campbell. .7:23 left to play in the third. Just underway in the period as Hoskins takes it baseline. Kicks it over to Blair. Blair caught the rim, comes out, grabbed by Crank. Hoskins underneath with the 2. And early in the second half, lead seesawing back and forth. Williams taking it to the hoop over Estep for two. We are 60 seconds, a little better than, into the second half, and we haven't had a foul. That's just unheard of in this one. Cooper taking it out of the corner. Blair was nearby, but instead the pass goes to Estep, who then kicks it to Blair. Hoskins back over to Cooper. Tries the three-pointer. Could not get the roll, and Campbell comes down with the REB. Left side of the rim, left-handed layup, no good. Over the back of Hoskins with the round ball. Estep trying to retrieve, and Jeet steps in to try to keep Estep from gathering that loose ball. And Estep's the guy charged with a foul. Braves will have possession. They will bring it in for the baseline. Three-pointer off its mark, but Stuckey's got it. Phillips misfires, but Stuckey with the grab gives the Braves another opportunity. Over it goes to Campbell. Back out front, G's got it. Almost lost his footing. Stuckey looking over Crank and then gives it to Phillips. Back to Campbell. Three-point try from Williams. It is no good. Couple of Wildcats battling for the loose ball, and Crank comes up with it. Into the corner, Blair tries the three. Rattles in and out, and Campbell grabs the rebound. Phillips has got it, it is blocked. Blair got in and slapped it away. Phillips will check out of the lineup. Josh McNeil comes in, 5'9" senior for this Walton High School squad. Matchup to follow has Peddle and Paxton battling one another. Blair coming up with a loose ball, then it's picked right back off by McNeil. Campbell caught the underneath of the backboard and then got the ball back. The faithful from Buckhorn wanted to walk, didn't get it, and to the line goes Campbell. Take another look and see if indeed there was a walk, if there's legitimate call for a complaint. Well, it was blocked. So no walk, as you had a block by Cooper, and that put it right back into the hands of Campbell. Hoskins, two more. He's been the workhorse for this Buckhorn squad. Ties it up at 28 each. McNeil off on the three. Put back is good. Nitro G putting the lead back into the hands of the Walton Braves. There is a timeout on the floor. And with the timeouts, we take one as well. Inside 5 to play. Stands a three, 30-28. Braves on top. Inside 5 to play in the third. 30-28, Walton Braves with the advantage over Buckhorn. It is Cooper with a handoff to Crank. Hoskins from the corner. And Hoskins nails the three. Lead back into the hands of Buckhorn. Let's see if it stays for long. No. Amos Williams with a tray of his own. So Hoskins on one end of the floor, Williams on the other. And it's back to a 2-point advantage for the Braves. No team with a lead bigger than 5. Hoskins. With a miss, Stuckey's got it quickly down the floor and just threw it away. He stepped, grabbed, and walked with it. .4:12 to play in the third, a 33-31 ball game. Uh-oh, Jeff Bradley is here. That means that we can continue with basketball this afternoon. Paxton Bobcats taking on Petal in the game that follows as G brings it inside and got the shot from underneath. Let's see if it counted. If it did, let's see if G will have an opportunity for three. And apparently you can't count the bucket. And it'll be brought in for the baseline. Paxton Bobcats with a revamped team. Is it totally new? Jeff says pretty much. Now, you can't believe Jeff, by the way. He'll tell you, oh, I don't know if we can even hang with you. And here they come out on the floor and they romp all over you. But, of course, Paxton will take on Petal in the game that follows. Sit out front, that is Hoskins with it. Into the corner, Blair, and Blair's got the three. And it's a one-point advantage that belongs to the Buckhorn Wildcats. G with a putback. It has been seesawing throughout the third. And it's a 35-34 game with 3:30 left to play in the stanza. One of those games you don't know who's going to take home the V or the W, whichever you prefer. Cooper puts it into the corner to Blair. Boggs had it in the paint, lost it, got it back. He got it back while most of the Walton Brave defense was headed the other end, to the other direction, to turn into an offensive unit. And again, Braves, though, respond. Seemingly with every Buckhorn bucket, you got a Walton response on the other end of the floor. Blair trying to get it inside to Boggs, and Boggs sandwiched. Stuckey and Campbell sandwiched Boggs. It'll be brought in for the baseline, non-shooting. Scoreboard indicating that is the first Walton Brave foul of the second half. They committed 10 fouls in the first quarter and pick up only their first foul of the third quarter at the 2:43 mark. Hoskins off on the shot. Stuckey's got it. Long two-pointer won't drop in for Rodney Shipman now on the floor. Over to Blair, and Blair had Campbell on his back. I believe the official indicated it was non-shooting on the floor prior to the Blair shot attempt. Take another look, and he's right. Campbell was on his back, but he was on his back prior to the shot. James doing some great work up there in the box. Catching the Campbell on the back of Blair, and now on the floor goes Boggs. Shipman charged with a foul. That's got Boggs at the stripe. Tied again. Let's see if that lead seesaws. Nope, it will stay tied. Out of bounds, off of Crank. Stuckey over to Shipman. Out of the corner, it is Caldwell who brings it out to Brown. Some guys seeing their first action in the second half. Got some first half minutes, but playing for the first time here in quarter number 3. Including this guy, Levico Thompson. Over it goes to Brown. Gave Thompson a look. Now Brown to Thompson. Thrown away by Thompson. Looked like he was expecting Caldwell to break toward the sidelines. Instead, Caldwell moved towards Thompson. Hoskins with a bounce pass. Out front it goes to Cooper. Back over. Hoskins has got it. Gives it inside. Look, nobody inside, though, and Blair will try the three. Shipman coming up with a loose ball. Tied at 37. Inside a minute 25 to play. Stanza number 3. And an air ball from Stuckey. Buckhorn again in possession. Biggest lead of the ball game for Buckhorn 5. They led at 15-10. Biggest Walton Brave advantage was 4 when they were on top 4-zip. Hoskins double team trapped here in the corner, trying to slam it off Thompson to get rid of it. Stuckey able to come up with a loose ball and a Shipman to Caldwell. Backs up behind the arc, thought about the three. Blair's defense changes his mind over Shipman. He's got the one-hander, but it won't drop in. Blair coming up with a loose ball. Back it goes to Cole. Cole off the rim, rolls out of bounds, and the Walton Braves get it back. 37-37. We've been stuck at the 37 point since about the 2:43 mark. We've been here a while, a couple of minutes with no movement. Braves bringing it down the floor, and it's Amos Williams. Brought it inside. Hoskins had it for a moment after Amos Williams lost it, but Williams able to take it right back. Thompson fouled by Hoskins. Well, we gave you the action a little bit earlier in college football and mentioned some NFL. Got to bring up the NBA, as the 37-all ball game is now a 39-37 affair. Over it goes to Boggs. Boggs with a lot of purple jerseys nearby. Kicks it over to Hoskins, and Hoskins has the three. Fade away from Williams. Retrieved by Blair, and that wraps up the third. 3 minutes of basketball. It's a 40-39 ball game. No team with a lead bigger than 5. And right here after 3, it's by 1. Buckhorn with the lead. We're back with the fourth after this. At the 36-yard line. Jarvis Hall awfully close.
Kemp will wave and miss. Strikeout, getting over. The Royal team leads the man at third.
Heading into the fourth, 40-39 ball game as we head into the final 8 minutes of this one between Buckhorn and Walton. Braves taking on the Wildcats. It's been nip and tuck throughout. Petal and Paxton coming up next. We'll have the coverage at 5 o'clock. Ball game will likely get underway right about on schedule. This one got underway a little early, though, as it was a 3:30 start time. But instead, we had about a 3:20 actual start. It was scheduled for the 3:30 start time. 3:20 is when it got underway. There's the three-pointer. Josh Crank trying to expand the lead. It is now 4. Braves have been able to match just about everything Buckhorn has done in the third, but thus far on this trip down, missed on the 3. Williams has got it. Tries from the top of the key. It's Aaron wide right. Another opportunity. Shipman with it. It won't fall. Phillips trying to get the follow-up, and then you got bodies butting one another in the paint, and finally a whistle and a foul. And with the foul comes a timeout. Not a requirement, you know, but Apparently one of the two. Either John Noble at Buckhorn or Brad West Walton wants to chit-chat. Possibility is both need the timeout. 43-39 Buckhorn. .39 game. Don't go anywhere, though. Haven't had a team really pull out to an advantage at all during the course of this one, so we're not anticipating it here early in the fourth. Here's been that problem area, by the way, for both teams, for all teams for that matter, in the tournament. Free throw shooting. As Shipman misses his first. And second. Cole coming up with a loose ball for Buckhorn. Pull-up jumper, Hoskins. He's been the workhorse, and he's working now, extending that lead to 6, biggest advantage of the ball game. Inside it goes to G. Kicks it out front to Phillips. Rebound belongs to Buckhorn. Boggs trying to get the follow-up, but the little guy, Zy Caldwell, steps in for the backside and slaps it away. Inside, 7 to go. Buckhorn trying to add to their 6-point advantage. Put in play to Hoskins. Hoskins being harassed by Williams. Coughs it up. Phillips comes up with a loose ball. Phillips harassed on the trip down. It is Boggs who is all over him, but able to avoid the defense. Shipman off on the 3-point try. Hoskins has got it. From the corner. The shot misses for Joey Grove. Out it goes, and the Braves will have it. Biggest lead of the game, 6, and Buckhorn currently enjoys it with 6:32 to play. Shipman checks out of the lineup. And checking in, it is Josh McNeil. Williams with it in the corner, looks inside to G. G's been relatively quiet, but takes the toss there and powers his way to the hoop for 2. Cole near midcourt and then overthrows his target on the opposite side of the floor, Josh Crank. McNeil underneath the G. G hammered. And G will go to the stripe. Joey Grove, 6'3" senior. Knocking around Nitro G. I said earlier in the broadcast that Nitro G was a senior, and I'm thinking, you know, I've seen G play a lot, but didn't know I'd seen him play that much. And then I look at the roster provided by the school, and it says he is a sophomore, which sounds more reasonable. The written starting lineup had him listed as a senior, but we're going to go with the program roster because this guy, he's been starting for a while, maybe as an 8th grader, but don't think he's reached the senior status yet, as it's thrown away, and the Walton Braves get it back again. McNeil with it out front, brings it into the paint. Through a crowd when he brought it inside, missed the shot. Cooper down with the rebound. Tries to get it over to Hoskins. Stuckey and Williams trying to slap it away. Went out, last touch to Brave. Buckhorn's got it with 5:36 to play. Over it goes to Hoskins. Blair. G got a hand on the round ball, got his body on Blair. And Blair will try a pair from the stripe. And there you see the call. I don't know that G agreed with it, but there was certainly some body contact. Clean on the block, but it was the body that got on Blair. Blair goes perfect. And the lead has been rebuilt to 6. From the corner, Amos Williams. It doesn't take long to slice into a 6-point lead when you're dropping it from behind the arc. And Williams has made it just that, a 3-point ball game. 5 minutes, 14 seconds left, an awful lot of time to go. Buckhorn hanging on to a 3-point lead. .5:14 left to play, 47-44 your score. Quick look at the NBA agenda tonight. Oklahoma City taking on Charlotte. Detroit's got Orlando. Milwaukee battles Brooklyn. New York hosting Toronto. It's Washington at Minnesota. Denver's got New Orleans. Lakers and Utah tangle. Miami's got Sacramento on the West Coast. And it's Golden State battling Phoenix a little later on tonight. Here, 5 minutes to go. Cooper to Blair. Over it goes to Hoskins. Had an opportunity at a 3. Tried to get a little closer and does so to Blair. Blair off the window and rim for 2. McNeil short on the 3. G's got it. Spin move in the paint. In and out. Had it, lost it. Blair picks up the loose ball. Over it goes to Crank, and here come the Buckhorn Wildcats with 4.5 to play. Blair in the paint, leans in, couldn't get the roll. Williams got the ball. From the corner, Stuckey taking it baseline. Missed an easy 2. Rolls around. It was Boggs who came up with it. Looked like Boggs wasn't going to hang on to it long. So John Noble quickly calls the timeout. And with 4:17 left to play, it will be Buckhorn's possession when we come back. 49-44 Wildcats. 36-yard line. Jarvis Hall
Awfully close. Campbell wave and miss. Strikeout, getting over. The Royal team leads the man at 3rd.
A delight for JockJive.com to be in Freeport between the holidays. Wrapping up 2013, which saw us work with the Great American Rivalries, NJCAA, Mountain West, Gulf South, Southwestern Athletic Conference, Perfect Game, Georgia Collegiate Athletic Association, and a whole lot more. I'm probably missing somebody along the way. Elite 8, Elite 11, that's right, and then Georgia Military College. Got James providing some info in the year. Who else, James? Did I miss somebody? All right, he's thinking, and we'll get back to the round ball with 4:17 to play. Next year, already got things lined up with the NJCAA, Gulf South, GCAA, ACCC. Boggs over Stuckey for 2. Picking up some new clients along the way to go along with the, I don't know if we should call them old, but the clients we have worked with previously. Phillips over to McNeil. Fakes left, goes right, dumped it to where he thought there was a Brave, but there wasn't. McNeil thought Phillips was cutting baseline, but he wasn't. I know one of the new clients is the Alabama Community College Conference. We begin with their basketball up in Haynesville on the 1st of March. Got American Legion baseball, Babe Ruth baseball during the summer. McNeil comes down, and it is McNeil charged with a foul. American Legion is new, so is Babe Ruth baseball. Did a little bit of Babe Ruth stuff last year, but not much. A few games in their World Series. This year, though, we'll be doing an entire World Series up in Washington as Blair hits the two-pointer. Campbell bringing it into the paint. You got a whistle and a foul. Basically said all that to say this: when you need internet coverage, doesn't even have to be internet. When you need sports production coverage, it's jockjive.com. Email us info@jockjive.com. Like to have you as a friend of Jock Jive as well. Go to the homepage of Jock Jive. Above the scoreboard ticker is a like button. Campbell missing from the stripe. Front into the 1-and-1 won't drop in, and you don't get a bonus. A 9-point Buckhorn lead, make it 11. Buckhorn trying to pull away here in the 4th. McNeil. Hoskins read McNeil the entire way. Knew he was trying to get the pass to G. Blair with a reverse layup, he's got it. And a tight one starting to turn into a rout. Braves certainly capable of cranking up the offense, but if they're going to get back into this one, they've got to do it soon. Hoskins down the floor and off the fingertips of Boggs. Shoved it back, tried to get it to Cooper, could not. Loose ball. She's got it. Spin move for Nitro. Got the underneath of the backboard. Blair touched it last. Walton Braves will have it. G off the floor. Thompson comes in. Williams off of the three-point try. It's short. Campbell tried to track it down to the corner and could not. Win, you play at 8 o'clock tomorrow. Lose, and you've got a noontime ball game on Saturday. Back over it goes to Blair. Wide open underneath. Boggs couldn't hit it. Let's see if that proves costly as the Braves turn it over. I guess not. Blair. He has become the workhorse. Hoskins did it in the first half, and Blair's been the go-to guy in half number 2. Williams misses everything with a short-range shot. No slowing up for Buckhorn. And it's now a 61-44 game with 1:40 to play. Thompson with a fadeaway drops it in. Boggs with a miss. It's a rebound that belongs to Walton. Williams has got it. Stuckey with a three-point try. Phillips coming down with a loose ball, backs it up behind the arc. Tries another tray. Hoskins has got it. Thrown into the corner. Hoskins able to retrieve in time to get it to Crank. I misread this Buckhorn squad, I'll have to admit. I thought with about 2 minutes left to play, they would get conservative. They got anything but. As a matter of fact, maybe their most offensive display during the course of the ball game was from that 3.5 to about 1.5 on the clock in the 4th. That 2-minute time span. And it is looking like I know I've been playing politics throughout the day. We can call this one. Enough of a lead, late enough. Buckhorn is about to take a victory and may not fire another shot. They've been instructed, do not. John Noble from the sideline says, do not shoot. They do not. Clock winds down, and this one is final. A 61-46 victory, and it belongs to Buckhorn. A very sloppy game early, got a little bit cleaner late in the second stanza and going into the third, and then the offense began to take control. And Buckhorn comes away with a 61-46 victory with the win. Buckhorn will play at 8 o'clock tomorrow against Paxton or Petal. They're the teams that face one another next. With a loss, Walton will not have a shot at going to the championship, and they will play in the losers bracket game at noon tomorrow against the loser of that Paxton Petal ball game. It was close at the half, only a point separated the two, but when you get to the end of the ball game, it is a victory by 15. 61-46, your final score. Buckhorn victorious, the Wildcats out of Kentucky, taking care of business on a Friday here in Freeport, Florida. Paxton and Petal coming up next here on JockJive.com. That one 10 minutes away. Thanks so much for watching wherever you may be watching from. For camera operator Ashley Madsen, our executive producer and director James Crenshaw, Robert Williamson saying so long from Freeport.